Royalties of peace tilling the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace. How we are doing today? Yes, today is August 2nd of 2023. August 2nd of 2023. I don't know why it feels like I haven't made a video for a long time, but we just had a video last week. I think it's the matter of change of month. But it's sunny outside here, and I'm very grateful that we're having another water day. Today is my water day. It is a Wednesday. Yes, it is a Wednesday. Here is your host, Maris Free. How are we all doing today? How are we all doing today? Peace stills the storm. Back to peace that has no storm, looking on to perfect peace. So long we have been talking about integrity, how important integrity is. Must I emphasize what I do emphasize onto my own self the best that I can? We are not in a competition, but cooperation. We are cooperating with each other, not competitive. Competition has really become ruined, that we need to let it rest and use some words that can help it heal and restore to expected. It is very important how we have manipulated competition into low self-esteem and now looking like arrogant pride. We should try to please encourage cooperation that will restore competition, because competition and cooperation is the same thing, but how we have become so aggressive on competition has made competition look more of like a low self-esteem, struggling with arrogant pride. So it is one good opportunity to be able to build our universal integrity. Today, our topic is universal integrity. We've been talking about the human and development stages of life, understanding we are higher beings. We did talk about Lord Erickson's and Lord Piaget's, and it all relates with the growing of the mind, with the reorientation of self, understanding we were first perfect before this complicated state of feeling like never being possible to become perfect again. We can become perfect again. Being in the process feels like we can never reach the destination, but we had been at the destination. That's why we're able to have hope. This is why we're able to have hope, because we had been at that destination of perfect peace, which we are on the journey to it again. And what is going on is the matter of confirmation. Confirmation, double assurance is double applaud. We are too confident. We are too confident in existence. We are too confident in existence that we play about our truth. We play about our truth because we have confidence we'll get back to it. But unfortunately, this time we feel frustrated. We feel frustrated not because we cannot get it, but because we are exhausted of proving ourselves. We are exhausted of proving ourselves. We are tired of proving ourselves. We just need to just be who we are. It's like going to the mirror over and over and over just to say, I'm beautiful, when you are already beautiful. You are already the identity. You need not become you need not become able to make a shadow often or image often to identify with. It begins to feel like helpless, like not being confident. We are beginning to stabilize with confidence to be just one, acceptance which is perfect peace. Keep on making a mirror to check ourselves is like a storm, a healthy storm, a healthy storm. Though we address it today, a complicated storm, it's of how exhausted we are. We've come to the conclusion of let's just stay one, going back to the expected that we are, the origin of I am the Holy One. I am perfect peace. I am the beauty. I am the royal. I am the righteous. I am the gold. I am the treasure, the pleasure, the joy, the excitement, the everlasting, the only one existence. The confidence of self is not arrogance. It only sounds like arrogance because of the journey. Some already at the destination, some still in the journey begin to feel like low self-esteem. It is very important for us to encourage these ones of us to reach the destination while we have the human development stages to encourage growth to perfection. We understood about Lord Piaget's 4 stages. This sensory motor, the pre-operational, the concrete operational, the formal operational, or leading us to adulthood, to maturity, to confirmation, to holistic state, to a resting place, to acceptance place. Because when we keep on looking at the mirror, it begins to feel like we have doubt on ourselves, but only more of a confirmation of self. Are we already full of the confirmation of self? So the only reality is acceptance. We must stay one. Some may say, but what is the problem with that? There's no problem with that, but we stay divided. Some may be like, then join us back into the journey of keep on assurance. We are already assured while we are fixed and perfect. Did I say in the last video that if it is not in progress, it is continuous? If it is not in progress, it is continuous. Even when we are completed with confirmation, we are still a continuous of the fixed, perfect. This other expression of us that we are having today, lower than the fixed. Getting to be confident is different from being confident. Getting to the answer is different from being at the answer. All good, but one lower than the other. We all want to be in one place, the holistic state of our being, where we all are balanced, one. No low self-esteem. It is not a competition, it is cooperation. It is all about cooperation and not a competition. Not that competition is wrong, but competition has been exhausted of how we address it complicatedly, of like a progress. Must it become its fulfillment of being one, not regressive, not trying to progress, regressing another, or trying to look like the one progressing and the others regressing. But we all progressing, we all being promoted. If I am going to fifth grade and the one behind me coming to the fourth grade, we are progressing because our end state will be all one, equal. Interesting how even life testifies. All the young become of age and experience the same what their parents have experienced in life. Integrity is always the end of everyone's life. Integrity and the beginning of everyone's life. We fall short when we are young because we think that we are competitors instead of cooperators. We fall short when we are young because we think that we are battling each other. We are competitive with each other instead of being cooperators. We are colleagues with our seniors. Though they look aged than we are, though they look higher than we are colleagues. There is one that needs to be able to touch the ground and one that needs to be able to touch the clouds. The car and the plane are cooperators and not competitors. They are just at the right place of the journey at the right time. The plane needs the car needs the plane until we reach the perfect destination of invisible light, perfect peace. No one left behind. We understood the sensory motor stage from the age 0 to 2 is more of intelligence and environment. The field of intelligence and your environment, a figurative intelligence. After a fall, you have to understand the basics. The initial step must have the destination in it. If it doesn't have a destination in it, you are still in progress in understanding the initial step, which is knowing your destination. You must know your destination at the beginning, then you can progress to the next stage. Sensory motor, knowing your destination. Knowing the initial step is knowing your destination, which is already in progress, but you to understand perfectly. Some still limited of understanding, still awakening is still in them, is still them, because they come from destination before becoming of the initial step. So you must have your destination with you. We are the destination with the diagnosis, the healing process. When you know you have a diagnosis, it's just the initial step of wellness, the initial step of getting to the destination. And you have to have the destination with you, perfect peace. The cognitive development is what Lord Piaget explains about this stage. Why I'm bringing this to us, it's not like we cannot go back and we cannot get the books, we cannot read. It's a matter of connecting it with the reality that we are facing. It's not just about a child having all just that. It's about it's our life in the state of recovery. All these four stages are all about our healing to destination. It's all about the journey. We all are equal. We all are equally in the journey. We all are colleagues, but we respect each other according to their being in this journey, but still experiencing the same journey. It's funny how some even get to the destination before even some that had been in the journey, right? And does not mean that we are greater than the other. Be you reaching the destination before the other, we will all get to the destination and still the same experience. Looking like you have reached before the other does not mean that the other is not there yet. We should always remember we are the destination before the initial step is introduced. Okay? We all receive our report cards. Even if you open it before me, we all have received our report cards. Right? I hope you're understanding. Okay? If it's a happy moment, because I laughed before you doesn't mean that you are not laughing already within you. Laughing outside, we all have been laughing inside. Okay? I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain here. It's very important. Some already understand this, thinking everyone should already have understood this. But the more we emphasize on it, because we are in this journey, proves that we know who we are. Proves that we really want to complete this lower state of called progress and reach the continuous, the eternity, the infinity. Integrity is perfect morality. Integrity is perfect morality. Our integrity, our destination, the continuous, perfect. After the sensory, we have the pre-operational, which is more of self-check. When you know your environment and know the intelligence that you are, when you have the environment being the initial step and having your destination, the intelligence together, you practice it. And that's the pre-operational self-check. You practice it. You balance with it. You become effective with it. This is all about trying to reach our Perfect, again, the continuous from the progress, from the journey, reaching the initial, reaching the destination perfect, being from the initial to the destination perfect. We are tired of going back to the initial when we are the, the intelligence. We are tired of going back to the initial when we are the destination. So the pre-operational is like the symbolic stage of being. You symbolize the intelligence and environment. You give it numbers or symbols that you work with without too much stress of the mind. You give it symbols. You put the two together. 1 plus 1 is 2. A plus A is 2A. You take 2A. You fuse the particles to one. So you have not too many particles. When the glass falls and is broken, you start putting putting the pieces together. How many puzzle pieces you've put together differently when you simplifies the ability to bring them together. You walk on the flower, you walk on the head, you walk on on the leg, on the bike, and then after having all the pieces of their groups, you are able to put them easily together, right? And we are all working together. That's a cooperation and not a competition. If you finish with the flower while the other is working on the bike, you are not done until the other is done with the bike. Until we are able to put everything together, then we are done, right? It is a cooperation and not a competition. Competition has really been manipulated. It is not about staying with the progress, but the continuous. It is not only about the initial step, but reaching the destination. So after understanding the pre-operational stage from age 2 to 7 is the next stage of life. It happens, people have it differently. Some have it at the age of 5 to 25 and we like, wait a minute, am I a 2 and a 7-year old? If we understand life of expected, we will not really struggle. What we call milestone is because of the competition that we've been trying to address of ourselves. Because some feel like they're left backward. So they want to have a name that is compassionate. And we have to make these milestones so people can find themselves spatial and have a reason to feel exhausted of being competitive. It's very important for us to understand this, but we cannot stay stagnant. We cannot leave some out, feeling like they are not meant to be. Maybe they have lost their part of life, but rather understanding the stages can be applied accordingly. Sometimes you even go ahead and find yourself experiencing the sensory, and it's like I'm dementia. I'm now Alzheimer's. They give me a diagnosis and all that. We have to understand that it's all about this is progress. This is progress. It's more of like a circle. Whatever is left of the other piece of flower you find in the other piece, yay, it's happiness. And you return it. When you get angry, you make it instead becomes complicated. It instead becomes stressful, and then the work becomes so disturbed. Yes, this is all about peacefully the storm back to peace that has no storm, looking onto perfect peace. For whoever is getting in to understand these videos that we've been trying to express for a while now of a journey to perfect peace. Some little mild understanding that could really ease our work of whatever level we are. Very close to the place of destination should not bring you back to the initial step. You don't want to fall back. And when you reach that stage of close to destination and start feeling like one becoming of sensory motor stage, you begin to struggle. You begin to struggle and stay stagnant there. And many come by and pass you by and go into the destination and not understanding why you cannot progress. No matter how they try to explain to you, you cannot comply because what you're feeling is sensory, which they don't feel. And you begin to feel like you're different. when you've been so close to the place of destination and still trying to get back to the initial in the destination. It's like, wait a minute, I was supposed to be, instead of being the initial one with the destination, not the one with destination with the initial step. Like, we are trying to get to a continuous. Is progress really ever completed? You may say, but we are supposed to be in the continuous. Are we really thinking right that we can get done with progress? Are we really thinking right that we can be done with the journey? I'm at the destination, still feeling like I'm in the journey. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Must we begin to comprehend, practice to perfect? The pre-operational that is symbolic is practice into perfect. You have to, if you get feel like the sensory motto, you have to apply the pre-operational until you are perfected. You have to keep on applying. Do not give up on yourself. Keep on applying. And then after the pre-operational symbolic stage of putting the groups of every piece of expected, you have the concrete operational, which is the understanding that the picture has to come together. Every pieces have to come together to make the concrete picture. And then abstract is the happiness, the excitement that you get of the picture in your mind. You feel fulfilled, that the picture is fulfilled. I hope you're understanding how great these videos are to us. Some simplicity, some mild, like how these books they call physics for the dummies, history for the dummies, is like this is very important. People, the dummies are the very important people, are those that have reached the destination, still have feeling like the initial is still with us. And that is very understandable, because the initial is still us, right? It's just a matter of time for it to get into inside. The heart inside is very vital. The initial is very vital. The initial step, and the heart out of the chest is what is initial step. We have to put it back into the chest to become the destination, the perfected, the healthy, and not the complicated. So having this concrete operational, that is of age 7 to 11, gives us the view, right? Different points of view. Like that's like all the pictures now being seen, able to be put together to be of expected, and gives us comprehension. This is where you have the pretend play of putting all together, that pretend play of putting everything together, of knowing what you have, the picture, what it is, of having all the pieces. When you look at all the pieces, you now understand what you have of a picture. If you have the hands, the legs, you already have it, the draft in your mind. And that is the pretend play, the magical, the compromising to self. And it comes with orderly manner, right? It says the orderly, at this stage, the child wants to be orderly, like chronologically does things. If you skip a step, the child gets complicated. If a piece is missing, it is not of expected. You must have all the pieces together to be able to make the picture in mind, and gives you confidence, right? So you have the formal operational stage, 11 to adult, which is applicable by hypothetic expression of self, right? When you have all the picture and you put it together, you become complete. The formal operational, that's the happiness that you have of feeling fulfilled and not frustrated. Hypothetical and deductive reasoning. It says, Lord Piaget says, you have deductive reasoning. You are able to tell that you're completed, or you still need work to be done, or a piece is missing, right? You're able to be deductive of reasoning. Abstract, you build your abstract because you're able to be fulfilled. The joy will come through. But if you don't have the pieces, your frustration, right? It's not abstract. Your frustration is still of the concrete mind. Understanding there's a piece missing that needs to be found. The different points of view. I, I hope you're understanding, please. And frustration is magical because it doesn't exist. Frustration is magical because it does not exist. Okay, so you try to correct your frustration, the interior outside. your frustration is like an interior outside. The heart is still outside. When you get to the place of adulthood, of formal operational, and not being able to have the abstract, you still feel the concrete operational. You still feel like you're of concrete operational, meaning you still have pieces that are missing. You're not yet of fully abstract. The fully abstract is the happiness. Sadness is only putting you in the place of concrete operational, needing to work upon your sensory and the pre-operational stage to be effective of your concrete expression. When you're able to have your concrete operational enabled of expected, then your formal operational is very easy to be attained to, which is intelligence, which is destination, which is being fulfilled, your happiness, your perfect peace. Amazing how these stages of Lord Piaget gives us the finishing of our journey to perfect peace, to ease. Everyone, those feeling stagnant who are the intelligent, must be reorientated of expected, giving confidence. Knowing who you are and still not at the place where you're supposed to be, it can be very, very disturbing sometimes. Can really enable low self-esteem and and loss of self. Not that you don't know yourself, but displeased, disappointed. We don't want to end up disappointed in life. And even when one is whole and the other not of expected, there is disappointment even of the one who is whole, because we are supposed to be one and perfect. So understanding that, and adding on to Lord Erickson's, that explains to us the stages of the 8 stages of human development, of infancy until we call it late adulthood, but instead it is the completion of adulthood. Late meaning completion, from age 65 to above, which the virtues is wisdom. That starts at infancy, called hope. This is from Wikipedia. Wikipedia says the virtue for our completion of adulthood is wisdom. Is becoming perfect. It is becoming perfect peace. Formal operational stage of Lord Piaget. Being formal, being perfect, and that is gaining of integrity. Now, did I say about the crisis, which is anger, frustration, and that would be despair, which of a child, and at infancy is mistrust of self. Begin to become, you don't trust yourself no more. Even when you're complete and your brother is not complete, it feels like you're not at the end, at the completion already. You don't trust the end, because we all are not perfect. But you have to know what perfection is. When you cannot trust at yourself, you have to turn around and look at perfection. You have to look at perfection, because when you don't trust yourself because the other brother doesn't look right, you're only bringing yourself back to the sensory motto of Lord Piaget. And then that is now that you have to have the need of understanding your environment and self, understanding your brother and yourself, of why you're not complete, trying to figure out where they're running short, that you can help them at the stage of which they're falling short. When you communicate with them of expected, you are able to know what stage they are missing, and then you go back to the stage and then you try to grasp whatever else is missing of the other stages and help them reach their final stages. This beautiful outlook of Lord Piaget and Lord Erickson. There are many others, right? I'm just using these two because they're the most common and more universal. And every other is very, very important too. And we can always get to them while we move on. So it is very, very important for us to really grasp these processes and apply it in every stage of life that we are. So long we are still in the journey, we are responsible of all of these stages. Not because you've passed infancy, it doesn't mean you do not have mistrust, right? There is still that infancy in you. There is still that infant in you, but you're trying to have a positive infant in you. The trust, the autonomy, the initiative. If you have guilt, look for your initiative, industry, identity, intimacy, generativity, and your integrity. If you feel like you're short of integrity, you have to go back to all the other stages because all of them is one. All of these other stages going from trust all down to generative are all part of integrity. Are not supposed to be in puzzle pieces, must be complete and whole. The significant relationship, it says that of infancy is the mother, and at the final is the humankind, right? It starts with the mother. The mother is the initial step, and humankind is the destination. When you feel like you're in pieces, you have to look onto hope. Hope, your mother. Your mother, your parent is your hope, your trust. But trust only meaning hoping I trust on you, right? A hope to trust, not completely trusting on your mother. The initial step is trust. Your heart, you trust your heart, but it has to be inside, right? You cannot distrust your heart, but you must trust that your heart can get back inside because it was inside. So you have hope. You have hope because it had already been expressed. We are able to have faith because we have been at the place of destination perfect. I hope this video helps us to encourage each other according to our background and point of view. Even when you're perfect, you may be feeling like, I don't even know how to address these others. How do I address them being so perfect? Right? When you can speak just only the high English and you don't know the mild English. Trying to speak to someone who doesn't know how to speak English is like you're lost again. You have to try to know some little words in their language to talk with them. It's not because of the language, but because of the intelligence that we are. We're trying to bring forth from of us all, the reality that we are. I hope you're understanding. No one is helpless. No one is useless. We are all helpful. We introduce each other to the mode of encouraging cooperation and not a complicated competition. Because competition is very beautiful. Competition is only one that is ahead trying to give a helping hand, a journey to perfection. If we are a group marching, we march perfectly. The one in front, like the one at the end, are all doing a good job. When we have the marching, the march pass, everyone is important. The one I mean in the middle is like the first one in front. The one at the end is like the first one in front. You must be able to present yourself expected to be seen. So the significant relationship must be acknowledged. The mother is just the same like the human kindness. The mother is just more of a concrete expression of the abstract human kindness. Kind is happiness, is perfect. And then you have the essential question that an infant will ask is, can I trust the world? Is what is written here. Can I trust the world of Wikipedia? Um, um, Lord Erickson's Stages of Psychology. The title is Erickson's Stages of Psychological Development. Some of these videos have this website, and we can always take a look at it just to have a basic and universal understanding of what I'm trying to express here, from education back to ourselves. We are the word, we are the education. We'll bring it out, we should be able to bring it back in, right? So the heart is knowledge, and we bring it back in after bringing it out. If we're trying to confirm that the heart is healthy, we have to be able to take it back in without feeling frustrated. So the essential question that an infant asks is, can I trust the world? Right? I can get myself, I am perfect. My heart can get back into my chest after coming out, right? Without any complication. And then at the last stage of complete adulthood, the question is it okay to have been me? Of course. It should be easy to go out and come back in. It should not be difficult to come back in. It should not be difficult to reach destination. When you reach the initial step, you should be able to get back to the destination. You can never miss your way home, right? Because you are home. It's very important for us to understand these stages, not just according to child growing. It's not about having a baby. It's about completing our journey. It's about completing this journey of reaching the initial, the initial step, the awareness of diagnosis of we are in pieces. We need to become one again of perfect peace and not having this complicated state of having wars and complicated grief and pain and complicated competitions that are becoming of expected. I struggle with it too. The mind is a battlefield that needs perfect peace. Again, we must be able to confirm the reality of the journey, not trying to stay stagnant or frustrated. We must be able to reach out onto each other. It's amazing how the truth never dies. No matter how we all fall, we all wake up. The real us never dies. All we see, the physical, is just the concrete. The abstract is always absolute. So we must be able to not just give ourselves to the progress alone. We must reach continuous. We cannot just state of the initial step because we are perfect. We must be able to confirm our destination of perfect. We must be able to have completed work. So understanding the essential question, we have the events. The that of infancy says feeding, abandonment. If you are stagnant, it's like being abandoned. If you are progressing to continuous, it feels like feeding self with knowledge. Don't be short of knowledge. Keep on applying and a fullness of knowledge. Even when you're fullness of knowledge, looking at the brother, feeling like, oh, I'm not complete because of my brother. You find yourself in the collective, you find yourself in the need of collective holisticness. When you become of self holistic, you try to find a universal holistic of a being. So it is very important for us to understand both self and collective integrity. The event of feeding self should not have another piece broken and fallen. While we have charity of the physical life, must also of the mind understand the need to become a fullness of knowledge, encouraging everyone of short of knowledge to achieve that perfection of not only state of progress, but reaching the destination of continuous. And the last stage of complete existence or complete adulthood, its events says reflection on life. Reflection of life is affirming that I have reached completion. Reflection of life is resting, is perfect. When you reflect of life, you feel complete. There is no disruption. Your reflection should be perfect, should be worthy, should be fulfilling, should be possible to enable perfect peace. I hope this video today really helps us to understand why we really need to encourage integrity very early in life, especially to our young generation of today, the alpha generation, the Z, the Y, the YZ, and the alpha generation need to really work together to help fulfill the baby boomer generation. The end of babies was the baby boomer generation. We of the baby boomer generation birth at the completion, the paradise, must the X, Y, Z, and alpha be of expected. We cannot miss alpha and look for another generation again. Please. So we must understand the signals of the crisis, the psychological crisis. Though Lord Piaget has his expression of it and Lord Erickson has his expression of it, the universal we know is called pain. We call it pain. If we have to put all of them together, it's just one word with the symbolic or what you call the pre-operational expression of it will be called pain. Types of pain, you have anxiety, disturbance, anger, hate, complicated, depressed, bipolar, however you know what your signal means to you. Should you understand the solution to the problem, because there is no problem without a solution. Before you know the problem is already the beginning of the solution. Must you have the solution at hand and healing the pain? For pain is only a signal and not a disease. Cannot become a disease is one that is like a condemnation, a stagnation, one that has no solution until the solution is found. Must you already have the solution? Don't make it a disease. Let it stay only a signal, and we seek wellness. The question seeking an answer, not unsolvable, but solvable. When you have a question, it should already be solvable. If it's not solvable, it's not a question, and that does not exist. We must be able to avoid the magical side of our existence, which we understand is expressed in the concrete operational stages of Lord, the stage of Lord Piaget. So understanding our solution is very, very important to avoid the complicated side. For we cannot be frowning. Smile in a frown. We must know that there's a smile in a frown. Bipolar is already a solution. Though it's like a problem, you must know it's a solution because there's already a smile in the frown. You must reverse the frown to smile. Mixture of state of the mind, of the initial and the destination together. Understand your solution already the destination, even when you're at the initial step. Having a pain, you should already know you're whole before the pain. You should be trying to get whole and not stay stagnant of I am disabled. Does not mean you're disabled, meaning I'm in the progress to get back to ability. So the outcome of pain, the complicated outcome of pain is cruelty, division, war, loss of appetite, overeating, dead levels, like killing, meaning cruelty, bleeding of the flesh, of breaking into more pieces. The glass that's already broken is the contradicting side of recovering to wellness. Must we keep on trying to encourage the right side, no matter how complicated it is? Always look for upward, always look up to the expected of recovery. Do not give up on yourself. Even if the pieces break again more than what it's supposed to be, always look forward to the greater. Even when the pieces become more smaller, they call it, oh, no, those are those with the IQ. When the pieces are just two more smaller pieces, like this one with the puzzle, able to put up all these 10,000 words puzzle, like all these 10,000 puzzles together instead of just 5 pieces. Wow, what intelligence is that? Does not mean that that's what is expected. Only telling that no matter how far of complicated you become, you can get back to wellness, to not feel frustrated, right? But nobody wants 50,000 pieces of puzzles to be put together. Nobody wants that, okay? We're not trying to stay in the progress, but get back to the continuous. Please, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Let us try to redefine our intelligence, please, so that the children can have paradise. We have reached the alpha generation and still looking broken. That is a wake-up call. Having an alpha generation, that is a wake-up call. We need to really get to work to reach the destination. Enough of these initial steps enabling of complicated. Let us address competition by using the word cooperation. So competition can become of wellness. Competition is really naked, needs to be dressed up. We have expressed it so much of the physical body of a woman. You're never sure why a woman always wears clothing that are exposed and revealing. The body is glory, yes, but nakedness is looking exhausted. The ghost is supposed to look beautiful, not with ruins. The lower being is not supposed to look exhausted, but of completion. For initial step is destination. Must be able to address it of peaceful, perfect peace. No pain of complicated. No complicated signals, but wellness. Pain is awareness of diagnosis seeking wellness, not just awareness of diagnosis. Let us put the right word so we can reach destination perfect. Thank you, Royalties, for listening today, and stay tuned for next Wednesday for another video of Whistling the Storm Back to Peace that has no storm, looking onto perfect peace. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.